Football Sniper here, and today I'm bringing you episode number 9, season number 1 of our career mode with West Ham United on FIFA 14. As you can see on the screen, we are going with a 4-3-3 attack, which basically means Nolan plays in a nice little cam position. Behind him we've got Mark Noble, who has been sensational all season long. Alongside him we've got Ravel Morrison. Up front, of course, we've got the talisman, which is Andy Carroll, having a good season so far, playing really well. I'm looking for him to excel this season. You know, he came to the club with a big price tag. He'd done well when he was on loan last season, but he's come to a club. Big Sam bought him before I came into the job, spent a lot of money on him, and I really want to see him repay the money that we've invested as a club into Andy Carroll, because he's not cheap on the wages and he definitely wasn't cheap on the transfer. So as you can see, we have a an away game. Do apologise to Hull City, who are an interesting side. They play good football at times. They're not the most solid, but they're a very dogged side, and I expect them to cause us a few problems. Early doors, they're awarded a corner. Comes in, Davis with the header. Adrian reacts really late. Goes down really late. I could only think that he had it covered, but that's just me. I hope he had it covered because he reacted really late. As you can see, Hull making all the play in the early stages of the game. Poor defending there as Reed is pulled out of position, but thankfully Adrian is alert to get a hand to the ball, and we managed to clear it. But it takes us into a 22nd minute to start creating an opportunity. Andy Carroll with a fantastic ball over the top into Downing. Goes for the back post. Unfortunately, Jarvis is not run down for his headering. Couldn't get to the header. Couldn't header it back across the goal or on target, unfortunately. But it was a fantastic ball by Andy Carroll. Absolutely fantastic. And again, we get caught out at the back, which was really disappointing. We've really got to work on that. But look at Mark Noble. He's been playing so well. And look at him charging, chasing Harry every single ball. 30 minutes into the game, and you would think that he was literally fighting for his life. He sets up the next play, knocking the ball into Nolan. Nolan into Andy Carroll. Andy Carroll with a biblical ball over the top into Jarvis. Jarvis on the left foot, tries to get it in. Not the greatest cross. He could have cut back, put on his right foot. Something we will have to work on in training is decision making. You know, it would have been a lot better if he'd cut back on his right foot. He neglected to do so, but we'll work on that in training. Big Kevy Nolan going in for a bit of a tackle there. I think it was a fair tackle. You know, the only thing he's got his eyes on is the ball. The player just knocks it out of the way. It's a little bit of nothing. I think the whole City player, makes an absolute meal out of it. But what do you expect when they've got the likes of Robbie Brady on their team? Oh yes, I had to get a Robbie Brady in there. Come on. I could not resist. So the half-time score is Hull City 0, West Ham United 0. And I've got to say it was a very even game. Definitely an even game. Hull City were definitely well and truly up for it. We just had to be a little bit more dogged. We had to have a little bit more idea. Downing picking up the ball from the kickoff, knocking it into Kevin Nolan. Nolan spreading the play into Morrison. Morrison out to Roland Rat on the left-hand side. He knocks it into Carroll. Big Andy Carroll making some great play there. Picks the ball up on the return. Goes for the chip to the back post. And unfortunately we can't get hold of it, which is a great shame. But it's just nice to see such movement from the lads, especially big Andy Carroll. And I had to put that in there. Thanks, EA. You haven't fixed player collision. Fantastic. Love it. Absolutely love it. You're sensational. You make me happy. You really don't. You really don't. I can't believe they still haven't fixed that. It's beyond frustrating. Absolutely beyond frustrating. So as you can see, as you would have saw in the last clip, Winston Reid was the player actually down. He's having to go off. He's got an injury. So I make the decision to bring on Vaste, of course, to bring on Diarmi because he's such a talisman. But Tompkins picks the ball up, knocks it into Marky Noble. He's been at the centre of everything good moving forward. Into Downing. Downing knocks it across into Nolan, dropping deep to allow Noble to make a forward run. Great play by Jarvis. He breaks through. It's one-on-one. Misses it. Comes to Noble. Surely, no, the keeper gets a hand to it. And Diarmi slots the ball home after 75 minutes to give us a deserved 1-0 lucky. Even though Jarvis should have slotted that ball away. Unfortunately, he didn't. But thankfully, Noble was there for a follow-up and Diarmi was there for a follow-up. But Nolan with the ball there, trying to push forward, an infringement occurred, and it falls to Diarmi, none other than Diarmi, to whip the ball in. He swings it in, and we nearly score our first free kick goal of FIFA 14. It was so close. Beautifully bent in by Diarmi. Look at the swerve he gets on that. Fantastic power. The lad is just an absolute legend. But the ball is with McGregor for the Hull City goalkeeper. He kicks it long, looking for El Hamidi. Great header there from Sorensen. Nolan making a tackle. If he caught the player, I think he would have been going, but thankfully the referee blew the full-time whistle and it ends Hull City 0, West Ham United 1, and 3 very valuable points. We have a tough run coming up, a very tough run, and we need those points to say the least. Statistic-wise, 6 shots, 2 on target for Hull City, 52% possession. We had 48% possession, but we had 4 shots and 4 on target, but we only had the 1 goal to show for it. Man of the match for me personally was Mark Noble. He was sensational. 14 passes, 11 completed, 11 dribbles, all completed. Second place was Nolan. Third place had to be Adrian. He did make a couple of important saves in the game, and he was fantastic. And it's nice to see Kevin Nolan getting in there and getting a Man of the Match award. Winston Reid, as we know, went off. He's out for 4 weeks with a sprained knee. I personally thought it was an ankle injury because he was complaining about his ankle before he went down. But no, he must have taken a secondary knock and he sprained his knee, unfortunately. So we're going to have a little bit of a look at the youth team. What players are coming through. We've got Danny Tomlin. He looks potentially quite good. You know, you've got Dean Cole. Not the greatest, but the potential is there. A few players that, you know, could surprise us. Phil De Silva is one we're going to be looking out for. So hopefully they'll start to grow and show us an increased potential. I would have liked EA to have done it in a different way this year, but they haven't. So what can you do? It would have been a bit more exciting if they put a little bit more thought into the youth process, but they haven't. It's all about the global transfer network, which I don't think they put a great deal of thought into. But anyway, that's for another day. We move into our second game of the episode, and it's a home game against Manchester City. Yes, Manchester City. Oh my days. We've had some games against Man City back on FIFA 13. And it's probably our real first true test to see how we are doing as a club, how we're doing as a team, how we can gauge where we're going to finish this season. As you can see, Man City are not doing that well. They're literally just above us. Their record's pretty poor, but they have got a fantastic side. On the bench is Johan Kabay. It just goes to show you their buying power. But Byron picks up the ball, 11th minute, sprays it out to Jarvis. What a fantastic ball from Byram. He just seems to get better and better every time I see him. The ball comes into Andy Carroll. He can't take it down to get the shot off. It comes to Marky Noble. He tries to pull the trigger, but unfortunately, great play by the Manchester City defender. And as you saw, Andy Carroll went down in the box. He did take a slight knock on his ankle, but he says he's okay to carry on. So we allowed him to stay on. And as you can see, we do get punished by some fantastic and slick play by Man City. And Yaya Toure is there just to slot the ball home. It was a very, very good goal. We were just caught napping. We dived in on one of the tackles, and you can't afford to do that against the big teams because they will punish you. They will punish you, and we were punished rightly so. The first half came to an end. Not an exciting game by any stretch of the imagination. It was a very dogged affair in midfield. It was like the Battle of Britain, a proper dogfight in the centre of the park. And I've got to say, honours even, really. I mean, we had the lion's share of the possession. But my God, we just weren't an attacking force. We just lacked ideas. We lacked the ability to open up the Manchester City defence. As you can see, Man City with their 1 shot, 1 goal, 43% possession. So I made the decision to bring off Andy Carroll because of the knock on his ankle. Hopefully he won't be out longer than a couple of weeks, but we're not sure yet. He's been taken off in an ambulance to be checked out and have an x-ray because he's a big player for our club. He's a big player for this season. So I brought on Samras because he's a big lad. He's a powerful lad. He's got a little bit of acceleration. He's slightly agile. He's good in the air. He's good on the floor. He's a very, very competent player. And I think once he starts scoring, he will score a bagful for us. But Nolan picking up the ball straight into Samras, inside the box, pulls the trigger. Great save by the Manchester City goalkeeper. Unfortunate for us. Would have liked to see that one nestle in. But Mark Noble, yet again, playing so well this season. Really is in peak form. Knocks it to Diami. Diami goes for the bender into top corner. Unfortunately, he just does not get enough power on it. It would have been a sensational goal, but the Manchester City keeper, unfortunately for us, was equal to the situation. Nasri on the left-hand side with Byram, trying to tease him, trying to show some form of arrogance that he's some sort of fantastic player, but he really is not. Byram doing a fantastic job, being equal to it, and takes out Clichy and knocks a ball out for a corner. Fantastic play there by Sam Byram. And remember, Byram is such a young player. It's fantastic to see he's got so much confidence. You know, he's not scared or intimidated by these so-called big players such as Nasri and Clichy trying to make him look a dick. He ends up making them look a dick by being so cool and composed. The ball's with Will Hughes, centre of the park, trying to make something happen, plays a beautiful ball over the top, but Jarvis just can't get there, unfortunately. The Man City keeper was a little bit slack coming out to collect that ball, but it was fantastic play by Will Hughes, who's a player I'm really looking forward to watching grow. Morrison knocking the ball into Jarvis, centre of the park, tries to play the ball forward into Morrison, didn't really think about it, unfortunately, But look at the determination by the boys to close and harry every time Man City get the ball. City being a little bit arrogant, knocking the ball around at the back, but that's due to the amount of pressure we're putting on them. Look at them, down and getting there. Samras is across, Noble applying pressure. It's in the 80th minute, Samras wins the ball and again gets in there. Such is the dogged determination of the West Ham players, which is something I'm proud of. I'm definitely proud of that. To see the boys fighting for every ball, every half ball is fantastic. Negredo into the box. And unfortunately, Negredo makes it 2-0 in the 89th minute. But Man City really didn't do anything in the second half. It was really, really disappointing to concede the goal in the last minute. If we'd come out with a point, I think Man City would have taken out on the chin and said, yeah, fair play. Because they were slightly outplayed and we were a lot more dogged, a lot more energetic than the City players. Will Hughes getting forward again. The ball's robbed off him. He spreads it out to Rat and unfortunately the referee blows the full-time whistle. Not a very good scoreline, not one that I'm really chuffed with, but it's West Ham United 0, Manchester City 2. And it just shows we have got a lot of work to do. We do need to add in certain positions over the next year or two, for sure. But the ending statistics, Man City 2 goals from 2 shots, 2 on target, really is a bitter, bitter slap round the face. Absolutely gut-wrenching, especially when we had 3 shots and all 3 on target as well. 49% possession to Man City's 51%. They upped it in the last 5-10 minutes to gain that percentage over us, but it was really, really disappointing. Man of the match once again is Mark Noble. 17 passes, 15 on completion, 10 on the dribble. So, Byram in second place, 12 passes, 11 complete, 2 huge tackles, dribbling 9 for 9. The boy was a legend, and Diami slipping in there, 11 passes, 11 completed. Absolutely sensational. And as you can see, Andy Carroll has suffered a sprained ankle and unfortunately he will be out for 3 weeks. We were hoping for maybe 1 to 2 weeks, but unfortunately he is out for 3 weeks and I will catch you Wednesday for episode number 10.
So it's more like a night.